All right, good morning. How are you doing? Thank you very much for choosing Look Up TV this morning. It's quite an honor to be your host this morning, and I want to appreciate you all who are already asking questions on what it looks like on the road this morning. I'm equally curious to understand the major roads in Nairobi and its environs. A lot of Kenyans want to know how it looks like, and you can hear that sound is basically Kenyans taking live videos on the road. It looks pretty clear. I'm not sure if this is this morning because was the sun up this early on Mombasa Road? Or are you just appreciating that Mombasa Road looks beautiful? That is at Julius Wambua. I am curious because yes, it looks clear and beautiful, but at what time of the day is this? Of course, you updated this at 5:35 a.m. Well, what are you going to be saying about the roads this morning? Where are you watching us from? Are you in Bungoma? Are you in Kisumu, Nakuru, Wajir, Turkana? How is the infrastructure coming where you are at? And also, all the road safety ambassadors watching this morning. Good morning, bonjour, salut, habari za asubuhi. That is Mr. Worotet, Wamuyu Karaoke, now Matthew and Jeru. Of course, we have a lot of you guys, tuning in to just understand what's going on. Sikika Safety, we saw an update of yours with somebody saying NTSA knows they're doing everything wrong, but they're untouchable. If I had, seen that earlier, we should actually bring it out here this morning. We're looking at accidents, we're looking at situations, and I'd love very much to hear from you. But there was a really bad accident earlier on. That was 6 hours ago. Let me just update that for you. On a Mira transporting lorry had a very bad accident 6 hours ago. I don't know how that situation now looks like as we're speaking, and it was at Nithi Bridge involving Mira transporting lorry. All right, what other inconveniences did that cause? We've had issues with this kind of vehicles over speeding. I don't know, that is with the Probox. I don't know if it happens also with the lorries. Was there any casualty, any fatalities? Would love to hear those updates. And what was the response time from the authorities as well? I'd love to get that record from you if you're watching. And of course, Eliphas William, please update us on the same. What are the roads like this morning? I can hardly see anything on Atma 3 routes. I'll continue to refresh for your sake. But remember, you can also give me that update very, very quickly. And allow me to appreciate Sikika Safety for some of these things that we continue to remind you of when you're leaving the house. You don't get this every day, but of course on Atma 3 routes, at Sikika Safety, at Road Safety Alert, we continue to try our best to update you. Now, there is importance of road safety awareness and these signs. Do you know what each of these signs mean? I hope that, of course, those who train our drivers also watch the Morning Drift Arrive Alive. Could be a really big question. But remember the importance of road safety awareness, and that is what we are doing here this morning. Also, obey the traffic rules and be safe. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are a road user. Are you a pedestrian? Are you walking on the footpath? Are you using the footbridge? Are you a motorbike rider? Are you a border commercial motorbike rider? Are you a truck driver? All right. Are you, whichever thing that you do on the road, but you use it, you're a road user. And there are traffic rules and regulations that you ought to adhere to, oblige to, and work by. So ladies and gentlemen, it's to remind you, don't be on the wrong side of the law. Every time we remind you, there are laws that govern the road. Now obey the traffic rules and be safe. Ultimately, you will arrive alive and you will be safe. And when you are safe, so am I. All right, let's take a look at what is going on in traffic. Of course, the fast commuter train 10 minutes ago from Ruiru was currently at the Mutindo stage. That was about 10 minutes ago. Is it still there at the Mutindo stage? I'm very, very curious. But what time exactly does this train usually leave? Could you please update me on the exact time the train leaves? And of course, that 10 minutes ago, the fast commuter train was at Ruiru. So if you want to catch the train, we would want to, know together with you what time exactly the train leaves Ruiru and what other stages does it go to, okay? There's the Mutindo stage, that is the first place it picks people at. Where are other stages? Now I'm already curious and I'm going to do my research on that. Remember, as we're speaking about this particular train, There's been an aspect of, the SGR now bringing a bit of a contention here and there, compensation. And these are things that Kenyans would love to talk about and understand. Who is consulted when constructions are done? Who is in charge? And how do we come in? So we can enjoy roads and not feel like we're not being compensated for relocations, etc. All right, now what else is going on? Watu wa Thika Road kidogo menyamaza. Is it okay on Thika Road today? Yes, what's going on? However, I can see here a concern, and Kura roads, I don't know if you followed, you have been trending on Twitter, and Kenyans are saying the design of Ngong Road was particularly there to take away lives. That was very disheartening to read. Please follow that tweet, and if I can get it shortly, I will share it with you so we can actually see the design of the roads. There's one thing, having good infrastructure or just smooth infrastructure, wide infrastructure, and that is different from having a poorly designed road on the other side. Maybe we need to recheck the design, but for the contractors watching and the architects and engineers watching this morning, what can we do to change the designs that are already in place, but are still, of course, claiming lives? Because Kenyans are now on matters Ngong Road, and I have said this over and over again. Ngong Road, it's not the lighting, it's not the, the terrain, it's not the design. What it is about Ngong Road has to be, talked about now, and action needs to be taken. But in what timeline could be the question. I can see here 32 minutes ago, it's not very clear, of course, because Gregory took this video. I know you cannot see much, but allow me to read the tweet. The contractor laying water pipes from Signature Mall towards Mlolongo is very careless. Have you seen those particular pipes? Are they inconveniencing you as a road user? And of course, George on 9 says they don't compact soil and debris is all over. So as we're speaking at Kenha, Kenya, if you're watching and if the authorities are watching, there is a contractor laying water pipes. I know the video is not very clear, from Signature Mall after, or rather towards Mlolongo, and of course this citizen says he's doing it very carelessly. Remember when we had Dennis Mudaura here, who is a chief project manager, he talked about protecting other road users from the debris that could fall over, and of course making sure that the soil is compact. I don't see any signages as well. Quite a concern. But of course, let's take a look at an update here by Iwairimu about 20-30 minutes ago. And at Riara Schools, a Riara school bus with one headlight is KAR 152V plying the Syokimau side. This is a school bus. This is very, very sad. I'm hoping we don't have most of this, observations. We could reduce them. School managers, really, these children are having the examinations this month. The best we can do, or the least we can do, is ensure that their cars and buses are in they're properly maintained, etc. So it is so bad, you have to get very close to realize it's not a motorbike. Someone please assist, contact Riara for the sake of the kids' safety. And I will do that. Indeed, I will do that this morning. Thank you, at Wairimu, for not just caring about yourself, but for everyone else, and especially the kids. And at Riara School, please, I hope you're watching this morning. The Riara School bus with one headlight is KAR 15 or 152V, plying the Syokimau side. And of course, it's so sad that you have to get very close to realize it's not a motorbike. Remember, children are on board, and we hope that they are safe. By all means, can we have this particular bus catered for and taken care of? That was very important. All right, Kungia Tao from KCA, use service lane. Nimewapea hapo hint. That is Thika Road. Kama unataka kuingia Tao from KCA, use service lane. That is via Atma 3 routes, and that particular handle is at Edu Jona. Thank you very much. Nilikuwa nashangaa Thika Road kuko vipi. Why are we using that again? And of course, just an hour ago, say 6 a.m., 6:30, Thika Road imeanza kubuild up hapo Muthaiga. That is at Jack. I'm actually curious, because what happens on Thika Road, especially hapo Muthaiga, what happens? I want to know, because Thika Road is pretty much very, very unpredictable. Thika Road, Mombasa Road, what happens there every single morning? Kama si track, Ni basi ingine, it's not moving, it's slow on the lane, which is a fast lane. We need to talk more about Thika Road. What is the problem on Mombasa Road now? Someone's asking at Origina, and I'm also asking the same question. And Jordy's replying and saying, use the service lane if you can. At Kappa, of course, PSV has hit a Tata from behind. And we're speeding. Why are we speeding in the morning, ladies and gentlemen? Why are we speeding in the morning? All right, either way, that's how it looks like this morning. Nothing much is coming in from the road alert KE, but let's just confirm to be sure. Sometimes they just do a lot of other tweets. And as far as this morning is concerned, really and vividly, you can see that nothing much is going on at Road Alert KE. Guys, we're looking forward to you letting us know what's going on the roads. You should be alerting us on what's going on the roads. But I want to appreciate Atma 3 Roots for doing an amazing job. And today, I know what Wama 3 munataka watch. There's been a lot going on with the legislation in terms of fighting graffiti, overspeeding, loud music, yes. And there was a time President Uhuru Kenyatta, said, let the young people enjoy their talents, let them exercise these talents. But there was also something about offensive pictures, offensive writings, destructive pictures. But what I have learned over time is people hope this can come back. But we still have some very beautiful buses. Do you know that Kenyans, Matatu culture became a tourist attraction? At some point, people would say, you go to Kenya, don't leave Nairobi, okay? Do not leave Nairobi if you don't board a Matatu. You have to be in a Matatu, all right? And I think that for me was exciting to read. I want to hear your sentiments. Would you wish that we bring back the graffiti, Matatu graffiti culture at the, at the peak where it was at? Sijui mnaziitaje? Ilikuwa matri ya kwanga? I'll get all those words as we begin. I know James Kinywa cannot wait, but we have Moha represented this morning. I know you wanted to say you've been present, but we have Leshan here as well to walk us through that journey. So we'll sit down, we get to see him, hear his introductory remarks, and then we delve deeper into a beautiful and awesome conversation. Karibu sana. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Did you ride here?
Yeah, I always ride.
All the way?
Yeah.
Whoa, how was that experience?
Good. Easy to at least get from point A to point B. I don't have to deal with traffic. I don't have to wake up extraordinarily early. So I mean, bike saves me a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
And now people are thinking of getting bikes. However, we've also had conversations with bikers who say motorists don't seem to understand that the road is for us all.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like for me, I always ride and I've never had a problem, so I don't know. So you guess different experiences.
Different experiences, but the roads look okay? Feel okay?
Yeah, they feel okay. I mean, it's just, for me, I always say that take the road like it's new every day. Because you don't know what happened over the night. There might be a pothole that came up. Like right now when they're constructing. The other day, I actually ran into a ditch in Mombasa Road. And I was wet all over my body because my whole bike was submerged. And it was raining. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Mombasa Road is under construction, So I didn't see the ditch. And I just went all the way in. So I had to get my bike fixed and stuff. So
every day, just get on that road like it's a new road.
Yeah, like it's a new road. Don't have the Don't have the mentality that I've ridden in this road for 10 years. You'll never know.
You never know. I like how you started this conversation. Please introduce yourself again. A lot of people know you as Leshan. Probably don't even know both of your names. What you're doing here, because they're wondering if you're a biker. It's quite something. So just introduce yourself and opening remarks. Tell them why you're here.
My name is Giles Leshan. I'm the PA for Moa Graphics. I deal with everything that concerns his social media presence, anything that goes up, campaigns in ads and stuff like that, and basically negotiating when he has endorsements coming in and all that kind of thing. And also, I'm a biker on the side. I'm one of the founder members of West Pangani. It's a rap group that Moha Graphics invested in, and it's basically to empower all the young artists who are coming from Pangani. Yeah, so built a whole studio, so all the young artists who are recording music can actually like, if you're from Pangani, you can record music for free. We can do the production. Yeah, we can do the production of even video for free. If you're from outside, you have to pay a little fee because many of the people who are actually producers with our group actually like come from Pangani. So we're like, yeah.
And it's good to hear that besides the graphics and the graffiti, Mohar is very intentional about empowering the youth. So you want to understand, I know you cannot fully talk for him, but you can speak for what you guys do, what it takes, how long it takes, what the challenges have been when it comes to authorities. I know that the NTSA has come on board. We had, you know, a few things banned. 2014, 2016. Of course, we have Michuki rules coming in. We have leaking and Jewish remarks here and there. And what this meant to your industry, what effect you felt, what responses you had from the public, and just, you know, where we're headed at, because we still have it, you know, you guys are still doing it. But what was the way that you adjusted around it? That is something also we'd love to hear.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's been a challenge, honestly, because it kind of also shut down the graffiti business and how much, like, people used to invest in making sure the Matatus look good, feel good, because, you know, the primitive way of looking at a Matatu was just let me get from point A to point B. But you know, as the years come by, we want to also be able to make sure that people experience a transportation from point A to point B. It's the same way when you go to Java, they give you Wi-Fi because they want you to sit longer. So it's the same way when you get in a Matatu that looks good. You might want to take one or two pictures. You might want to enjoy the ambience inside. The music is playing, you know. Sometimes with a younger age, we crank the music a little bit too high. You know, with a more moderate age, we crank it just at the right size, you know, things like those, you know. We want, because everybody wants to sell an experience that every young person, when they think about going from point A to point B, they'll be like, oh, I wanna go with a particular Matatu, you know, because they really like it, you know. They know it's a vibe. They know they want to get there when they're really pumped up and psyched up, you know.
All right. And I like that you're giving us the difference between just commuting and having an experience. An experience. We're coming back to talk about it, and if you differ, fine. We'll be live on Facebook. We'd love to hear your sentiments as well. We learn here. It's about road safety. At the end of the day, as you're experiencing, we hope that you arrive alive. As you're commuting also, we hope that you arrive alive. So let's take a short breather. But send in your questions, and of course remember, this is Leshan speaking in, and of course just sharing with us more what they do with Mohar Graphics right here on Look Up TV. And for those who want to take us back in the day, I remember the late Issa really, you know, has been part of, you know, a lot of Matatus. We come back shortly, but be part of the conversation. Don't go too far away. Welcome back. We are glad that you are watching, and today is pretty much exciting, not one of those very serious discussions. We're just getting to know what happened to the graffiti and the graphics, and, you know, the history behind it, what it means to, you know, because not just decoration, he's talking about experiencing your ride. We do agree that life can be hard, earth can be hard, and 80% or so of the youth are pedestrians and passengers. They don't all drive, so you just don't want to commute, you want to experience, you want to be happy. And Leshan here on set said it was to make sure your energy is up, you're positive, you know, etc., depending on what age group, which means age is considered when it comes to actually, you know, painting this gangsters' cars and pimping, as President Uhuru Kenyatta put it once in 2016. He said, pimping the Matatus. So welcome back. The conversation is live on Facebook. We are on Arrive Alive. And I want to appreciate Mr. Worotet this morning saying, good morning, I just want to arrive alive. Absolutely. Same here. Welcome back on set. And of course, Joyce Kimari saying, let's arrive alive at our destinations wherever we are. That is proper. Edgar Wanyahururu saying good morning. And of course, Mr. Worotet has just kicked us off with a comment here you'd want to, talk about. I have been wondering why graffiti is only associated with gangsters. Most drawings are seen to be violent. Why have we never seen graffiti that encourages safe driving? Maybe let's start with that comment. Do you want to say something about it?
Yeah, I think it depends on where you're looking, It's the same mentality where everybody says that if you look at, if you think about a yellow cab, you'll see a yellow cab, Yeah, so I mean, like, if you think about graffiti as gangster or rebellious, that's how you look at it. But if you go to places like Nairobi Street Kitchen, where More Graphics has done the art on the walls, you'll think about ambience, So, I mean, like, it depends on your perspective on what you think about it.
All right.
Yeah.
So what I think is trying to talk about is we have, artists abroad who, with all the due respect, we have 50 Cent, we have B.I.G., because most of the times we've seen artists on these Matatus.
Yeah.
What if the kind of music is what is relating, to what he says offensive? Yeah,
I mean, like, for me, I normally look at it from a point where 50 Cent, like, for example, his music is not gangster.
Okay.
It's his experience. Like, it's what he went through. How you perceive it depends on you, how you take it. Because him rapping about guns and things like those, that is a ripple effect of how he grew up and how the system pushed him into. Okay. So you cannot say that he's gangster, he's a thug, he's this and that, Yeah, but because if you were in that same situation, you would do what he would do probably.
Okay.
Yeah, because the whole point is you either get rich or die trying. You get me?
You get rich or die trying. All right, now let's go back to, of course, the conversation. And let me just read another comment, because this is why you came, this is why we are here, to shed light on what people seem to not understand much, or where you guys are coming from. And of course, Mr. David Kahara, good morning. He's saying beautification of Matatus has been always associated with unruly behavior. From the cruise to thuggery. Wow, interesting. In most Nairobi routes, there isn't much value add in terms of quality travel, especially about loud music. Can what he calls this thug culture be changed, since it's also a bad influence to young people? Thank you. That's his opinion. I don't know what you have to say about it.
I don't know how it's a bad influence unless he's a young person. If he's a young person and he thinks it's a bad influence, then he can maybe divert his energy to something that he feels is a more, or maybe if he has a car, he can just stop looking at it. Because you see how what you focus on is what you become.
Right.
So if you focus on making sure that you think about something that is bad influence, it's gonna affect you,
Right.
Yeah, but if you stop looking at it, it won't affect you, because what you don't know will never hurt you, and what you stop focusing on, you forget,
When you talk about don't look at it, I'm looking at passengers who don't have a choice but to look at it.
You're gonna have to.
The perception is gonna have to come into play.
Yeah, and you're going to have to be considerate, because the whole point is you have to be considerate. This is a world which is full of 7 billion people.
Absolutely.
And you cannot stop someone from expressing themselves,
All right.
Yeah, I mean, like, you need to be the same way you wake up in the morning and brush your teeth is the same way someone would not brush their teeth in the morning. They would brush them in the evening, It's choice.
All right.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Moha Graphics, because, I mean, this guy is legendary. 24 years in the industry. We'll be letting you know what's happened within this 24 years and why there is a road safety issue, because we still do have, there's paintings on the Matatus and now bikes and even personal cars. Let's just, give a shout out to Moha. Give me a bit of his journey. When did you guys start, this industry?
Yeah.
And what exactly does it entail? Yes.
Moa started this industry quite a while ago. I was not even like present as
in the
such.
picture.
In the picture,
Yes.
yeah. I just came through because I knew a little bit about him, and I could offer my skills in terms of advice and stuff, you know, and marketing and all that. And from the research that I have done, and his 24 years has been quite an uphill road, you know.
Yes.
Uphill, downhill, you know, like it's I wouldn't say it's been smooth, you get me, because many people would be like 24 years and he's still consistent and he's still doing it, you know. That's what people see, you know, but there's ups and downs and stuff like that. Yes. You know, the same way that what I'm doing for him right now is making sure that even on his social media he's able to show people that the times I have bad days and I don't wake up in the morning, you know. I wake up around 10, 11 because I just had a long day yesterday. Maybe had a client who's been so much on my nerves. The same way I was telling you, like, he had a client this week that was so much on his nerves, changing everything, designs and stuff, and it gets hectic, you know. And as much as More Graphics is perceived to be a legend in the art and graffiti industry, like, he also has his downhills and downsides to it, you know, and he expresses it so very well, and that's why I always make sure that everybody gets the fact that More Graphics has built this, but he also is flawed, he's human, so let not people put pressure on him social media wise and any lifestyle wise, you know. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, like, me and Moha sometimes even take like borders because it's not a big deal. We come from Pangani, you know, we're not rich. We have what we have due to working, you know? Right. Yeah.
And when you talk about his experience now, it was about Matatus, and now you'd see people of a certain route, like you said, people are very specific on what Matatus they want to use because that's what they related with.
Yeah.
Now you're saying this is also done on private cars.
Yeah, it's also done on private cars. Yeah, and bikes. Like my bike, he did it. He did it twice.
I think we should see it shortly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's done on my bike, he's done on a couple more bikes, because you see, it's how someone wants to, like, express themselves, whether it's a private car and stuff, you know. Like, we have private cars that we've done body work and paint jobs on, because someone just comes with a car and they be like, oh, Moa, you do nice graffiti on Matatus, can you do on private? And he's like, yeah, what do you want us to draw? Some anime, maybe some calligraphy, maybe some, you know, it depends on what someone wants, because it depends on, some people come there with target audiences of maybe the youth. They have these caravan cars which they want to, like, impress and attract the youth. Okay. So for you to attract the youth, you need to have popping colors and stuff like that, and we all know who does popping colors better.
All right, look at that. Just look at that. It's like we all know who does it better. Of course, a great shout out to Moha Graphics. He's gracing the studios soon, maybe next week or the week after. Yeah. But look out to him sharing his own story right here on the Morning Drift. Now, I know when I talked to my crew about, you know, bringing you guys on board, they were very excited, especially the young people. Yeah. And this is the young people not born 24 years ago. You know, maybe they're 18, 19. Yeah. But this is after we've seen graffiti go down.
Yeah.
Somewhat. And let me talk about the Nganya Awards. Nganya?
Yes.
Nganya Awards.
Yes.
And it means, is it soup Matatus? We have TVs inside, speakers, cool seats. Yeah. But there was an issue about them being loud and very reckless. And I think that's where the gangster aspect came in.
Yeah.
They'd pull stunts as well. Yeah. They would race as well.
Yeah.
If this is the effect that the graffiti would have on people, do you think it played a part? Or
I wouldn't say it's the effect graffiti would have, but I would say it's the effect of just young, adrenaline-driven kids and people, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, graffiti just gives you an effect that you look cool, you know? So we cannot blame people's, you know, if you're reckless, you're reckless. That's what we call it, you know, reckless. Even if you have another private car, there are people who have private cars and they're reckless, with no graffiti in it, you know. So graffiti is just an outlook of how beautiful you look, you know. Yeah, it's the same way you would have a tattoo, but you work a 9 to 5, maybe you're even a pilot or something, you know. We cannot associate graffiti with recklessness, you know. Even these normal cars, my Matatus, they drive recklessly, you know. So I would say people who are painting graffiti in a bad light in terms of it being associated with reckless drivers, I wouldn't say that's the cause, and I would kindly request for them to have a different outlook about it.
All right.
Yeah.
But of course, Moha was one of the, you know, pioneers, and of that particular award.
Yeah.
As we're speaking, there's an aspect of offensive and, you know, the one that's not offensive. What's the difference between offensive graffiti and a graffiti that isn't? Because you have really talked about perception. You talk about the other road user has the responsibility of how they perceive it. But what if I disagree with that?
If you disagree with that, you know, for me, I look at, you know, offensive is a heavy word, first of all. So it depends on your perception. You know, some days you might wake up and see something like GTA is offensive. Some days you wake up and you see it as cool, you know. So also how you wake up and what you've been thinking about really affects how you look at things, you know. Sometimes you might look at a woman with a bikini as hot. Sometimes you might look at it as inappropriate, you know. Yeah, so I feel like how people look at graffiti will definitely keep evolving and keep changing, you know. So I mean, like, everybody who you look at it, it depends on you solely.
All right. As you're speaking, I'm going to be checking of course, the comments on Facebook. But the reason why I brought up the word offensive is because in 2016, this is what the dailies called it, is what the government referred to it as. And of course, that's coming to screen shortly. And the National Transport and Safety Authority, and that is, of course, in the dailies gazetted 22nd of January 2016, had announced a ban on all Matatus donned in offensive graffiti, modified horns, and explosive exhaust pipes, which caused noise pollution. The authority then ordered the Matatus, which mainly operate in Nairobi, to remove the additional features in 3 days at that time or risk being burned. Now, as I continue with that, of course, it's on your screen, and that is just us talking about the Matatu culture. Also, we noted that, of course, I would quote the chairman then, Lee Kinyanjui, saying, "We know the owners have invested in the PSVs, but violation of laws will not be allowed." Now, speaking during a press conference at the authority's Upper Hill office then, the officials accused SACCOs and company managers of failing to curb the trend that has persisted for more than 20 years. And now, of course, now we're saying more years added to the 20 years. How did that ban affect, you know, the industry for you? And, you know, I would say you guys don't do offensive graffiti. Yeah. Probably that, because Moha is not the only person who does that.
Yeah. There's many people who do graffiti in this country, you know. It's just that by virtue of having built his brand so well and off a very concrete base, people always look at it as, okay, more graphics, but there's really many people who have done it, you know. And what to say about the ban, it really affected the business, because many people who used to spend huge amounts of money in pimping their Matatus, making sure they look good, you know. Some of them also went and overdid it with loud pipes, you know, and more body work. It's good for business, but, you know, sometimes subtle is quite good, you know. But everybody, you know, a client is always right. That's what we normally say. So if they want a loud pipe, if they want more body parts and more body kits, you know, you have to give it to them, you know.
Really, Leshan? What happens to me, who is the other road user, when the client says this is what they want? Do you advise them otherwise?
We do advise them.
For road safety?
Yeah, for road safety, because that is, you know, if it happens to have to portray a bad image, everybody will be like, who did that Matatu and stuff like that, you know. It's not about money at the end of the day. It's not always about money. We try advising you, but if we see that you're adamant about it, you know, the client is always right. So we always just be like, you know what, it's you spending the millions. We might as well do what you want, and you know, you're always right. You know?
All right.
Yeah.
Allow me to read this feedback here real quick. And of course, a lot of people here seem to be, you know, on the other side of the fence. Maybe, is it the age group? Are the young people watching this morning, do you want the graffiti culture and the horns to be back? We would love to hear from you as well. But Martin Gishuki says, hashtag the morning drift. Good morning, family. The Matatu is business to the Nganyas and more. All right, the Matatu is business too. The Nganyas and more was been in Matatu industry for 10 years. I don't know what he means, but he's saying the Nganyas would earn more. Because it's been in the industry for 10 years.
Yeah, the Nganyas would earn more because, I mean, like, getting a Matatu from here to Rongai would cost you probably, like, I don't know, 100 or maybe 80. Nganya, you'd charge probably 150 or 200.
Okay. So, there's something to pimping the Matatu. So, this we're charging the experience, not just the community.
Because I'm not just taking you home, you know? I'm taking you home in style. You get me? Like, instead of you being bored on your phone, maybe the charge is off, maybe the charge is almost off, you don't have music in it. We give you music.
Okay.
We give you TV.
Okay.
We give you a whole experience. You'll be chilling. Sometimes you even be like, you know, you should try getting in a Matatu with loud music and TVs and stuff. You might even reach where you're going and pass. Because sometimes you just get so comfortable in it and you just get lost in it. That's what people want. Because sometimes you just take your mind off it. Sometimes maybe you're getting late for work and you're just like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. A loud Matatu, you cannot even hear your thoughts.
You know, I'm concerned. That's the experience you're giving the passenger. What experience are you giving the driver? Because this is 40 of us, or 37 or 36 of us, or whatever number, in this Nganya. Mat3 now lately. Or Mat3 and Nganya are different?
Mat3 and Nganya, it's pretty much the same thing. Mat3 is just a different slang name.
All right.
Yeah.
So the passengers will feel cool, forget the, you know, their thoughts. That's pretty okay.
Yeah.
The driver.
You know.
Because at the end of the day, trust me, he's on the wheels.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's on the wheels, and you know the whole point is that you will never sign up for a job you don't want to do.
Okay.
You know. So I mean, like, if you want to drive a Matatu, you will look for a Matatu which doesn't have music and things like those. If you want to drive Nganya and make sure that people enjoy it and you also like love your job, you know, you look for Nganya.
I want to hear from you guys because, wow, we've heard people in Nganyas hang on doors. They're moving to the music. Like
that is sad to say. I know that is, I would say, unruly, and I'd really actually not vouch for them, but I would actually ask them to kindly, like, you know, be more, a little bit safer, you know. I know, like, young people, we only live once and stuff like that, but, you know, we live it right. All right. You know?
And there's been an aspect also because now it's the Matatu culture, and most of the people, the touts, mostly are young people. Yeah. And I know passengers are watching this morning, and there's been an aspect of shukisha. Shukisha, but the music, we have forgotten our thoughts. The tout has forgotten. You know, it's just floating about how cool the Nganya is. Don't you think that there's need to talk about still being disciplined in the Nganyas? I mean, as much as we're loving that we're working in it as a tout, for example?
Yeah, I mean, like, many Nganyas are, so to say, not quite disciplined. I wouldn't say not completely not disciplined, but not quite. But you know, when you're getting in, the tout will actually ask you like where you are lighting from, and you actually tell them. Most of them remember, you know. It's not that most of them don't remember. It's just that during the rush hour, some of them forget, and that is now being human, you know, because everybody's trying to like get to destination A and B and C, you know. So sometimes they forget and they make you alight at the next bus stop from a previous one you were supposed to. You know, that's human is to error, you know. Yeah, so that happens, you know.
All right, I'd also love to hear your sentiments because this is a conversation not just me and Leshan is having, but we're looking at what if it was an option to give you another better experience, not at the expense of road safety. But a lot of people approached me, that's why we have this conversation, and they said, but I don't think I had a problem with the graffiti. You know, what if we allow these people to explore more their talents and not be able to limit? We're coming into what the law says. If you know about it, you'll share with us, because after the changes, what were the changes? What now regulates the graffiti that we're having on our PSVs? And of course, I can see James Kenyo saying, big up Leshan, my fellow sound engineer, is it?
Yes.
Kazi mnapiga pale na Moha Graphics ni safi sana.
Shukran.
And of course, he's saying graffiti is a form of expression.
Yes.
Our Matatu industry is one of a kind. We should embrace the art.
Yeah. I mean, like, we should definitely embrace it. You know, that's why we have the Matatu culture, because every passenger is able to go on Twitter and express that, oh, I had a bad experience today with this particular Matatu, and we normally hear you, and we try as much as possible to air your opinions to whoever, the relevant people in the circles and stuff like that, you know.
You do?
And they hear you, and they'll be like, okay, we'll change the driver, or we'll maybe crank the sound a little bit lower.
All right.
You know, because these days in the morning you won't find the music bumping like in the evening.
Oh, no, not at all.
These days in Matatus and Nganyas, in the morning the music is actually quite subtle. You know, people are going to work, they don't want you to be like so much in the air. But in the evening, everyone is groovy, because who doesn't like getting off work? You know?
Can you ask them that?
Yeah, who doesn't like getting off work, you know, in a groovy mood, you know? Everybody loves to, because getting off work is like the best feeling.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right,
I love getting off work.
Do you love getting off work? Some of us have stayed work overtime. You ask, Muno uko hapa? But we come back with this discussion, and of course, Joyce Kimari, I'm seeing your response. David Kahara, how is it in South Africa? Because people used to come to Kenya to have this Nganya feel, all right? That's how important it was.
Even many white people. The other day I was on TikTok, and I saw a white chick who was saying, the one thing that I really loved about Kenya is the Matatu culture, and when you come to Kenya, don't miss that. And I was actually really happy, because, you know, maybe she boarded a Matatu which was pimped, music, graffiti, and she actually liked it because it's a different experience, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, and things like those really help us, because they really make sure that we are like, okay, you're proud of yourself, you know.
All right.
At least we have something we identify with in Kenya.
A culture.
Yeah, a culture.
We take a short breather. We come back. If you still have any more concerns and questions, I'm waiting to hear from NTSA, Road Alerts KE, Atmospheres, and many more. Mr. Worotat, David Kahara, Karis Mugo, what are your sentiments? We're coming back after this short break with Lashan on set. It is still very early. It is 9 minutes past 7 a.m. So you're absolutely leaving the house shortly, or you are on the road. So we are having the right conversation. This is timely. If you're just joining us, you are in the right place for discussions road safety. And today, all the young people are flocking right here on Facebook, asking themselves, we thought of who would have this conversation for us, yeah? But I remember when, of course, the authorities came into play, it was to safeguard the road users. They said they would ban offensive graffiti, loud music for a reason. And of course, we're looking at two sides of this coin. Also challenging NTSA this morning as they're doing the rapid results rollout enforcement, for example, to check on who is being offensive and who is just having to give the road users an experience, all right? Now, in 2014, in November, President Uhuru Kenyatta urged the authorities to go easy on the Matatu regulations to allow young people use their talent in pimping vehicles. I will say that again. It might probably come to your screen, but if not, just know that it was in one of the dailies. And in November 2014, President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is now the outgoing head of state, urged the authorities to go easy on the Matatu regulations to allow young people use their talents to pimp the vehicles. Now, the Matatu culture has gained national and international recognition, including featuring on Time magazine, I would quote that this morning, which recommended Matatu rides as one of the top 10 experiences one should not miss when visiting Nairobi, Kenya. Moha Graphics has been one of the legends, is one of the legends when it comes to graffiti. And of course, a great shout out to him. He's represented this morning, working closely with Lashan. Welcome back on set.
Thank you.
And I love that, you know, we've been talking about, and of course, President Uhuru Kenyatta, as much as it's been banned, a few regulations here and there were changed to ensure that, you know, it's not just having fun, but we are safe on the road.
Yeah.
You talked about how that, you know, affected you guys. And allow me, when we're coming back, we'll talk about the academy. Because youth are unemployed. We're talking about insecurity on the roads, but by whom? The youth. Now, corn mechanics are young. Could it be a source of employment? Do we have to look at it another way? But how do we expand that for them as well is a question. And of course, James Kinyua are still following very closely. And Joyce Kimari, of course, responded from South Africa, saying if we have that, and of course that is saying they're not against, you know, graffiti in South Africa, but if they do have it, there would be an impact in a road safety campaign. Like, instead of drawing, you know, we're using 50 cents a lot. Have you guys thought of what else do you draw on graffitis that, you know, would be a road safety campaign strategy? Because now there's a lot of influence you have seen, perception, and speak a lot to the viewers and builds a behavior and a culture. What does graffiti do when it comes to road safety campaigns and sensitization?
Basically, there's a lot of ways you can approach it, you know. Even if you're drawing, like, let's say, artists and stuff like that, you know, you can just put a small calligraphy of arrive alive, you know, such things really, such things, the person who's behind your car would definitely see that and actually think about it, you know, because you've brought it to his attention, the fact that you need to arrive alive, you know. Maybe if he was speeding on or trying to overtake, he'll actually read it and think about it, you know. Yeah, so I mean, like, for us, we try not to complicate the aspect of art, you know, just keep it. Some things are better when they're like as plain as they come. I
mean, for sure, I would say I haven't seen guns drawn.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I don't think I've seen that. If you have seen because that would be offensive.
That would be offensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I can see here Mr. Kahara saying in the next episode there should be emphasis on the negative effect on road safety regarding most modifications, especially on excessive lighting, flashy colors, we talked about that, loud horns, loud exhaust pipes, which are illegal.
Yeah.
That got banned, etc. The arts should be directed to different vehicles, e.g. trucks and trailers. What do you have to say about that suggestion? He's saying, you know, shift this to trucks and trailers.
Trucks and trailers, who sees trucks and trailers every day? Someone in Lavington probably has not seen a truck or a trailer in like a month or two. So I mean, like, I don't know what he's talking about. Trucks and trailers, I wouldn't agree with that. I mean, like, it would be good for business, but you know, who's gonna, like, the whole aspect is for you to be seen, you know, to be seen popping, you know. Yeah, I mean, like, so if he's talking about the exhaust and the flashing lights, I do agree. Those need to be moderated, because even for us, it's kind of loud, you know. Yeah, I mean, like, but if a car just comes with a genuinely loud pipe, the original one, fine, you know. But if it's flashing lights, the additional lights, that's a little bit too much, you know. That should be moderated. But yeah, but the trailers, I would disagree, because I think he's seen something we haven't seen, and I would like him to share. Maybe we'd be open to it. All right. Yeah.
So that's a challenge there. You're being asked, Mr. David Kahara, to maybe give us what you're seeing in you know,
in trailers.
In trailers, and because I think when we had Mr. Worotet here yesterday, we talked about when they stall, because a lot of trucks, you know, cargoes could have a problem, but they cannot go the 700 meters. Put, you know, the how do you call it, lifesaver, you know, in 700 meters ahead, so they put leaves and you can hardly notice they're there.
Yeah.
So maybe he's talking about if they had graffiti on them that shows that this is a truck, it could help. What do you think?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
They should just probably have good security measures like the reflective triangles and stuff, you know. They should actually just put those, because even on the Thika highway, there's plenty of times I've come close to like even hitting a literal trailer because I couldn't see, you know. Yeah, especially like on the with the bikers. Sometimes it's hard even when you have a clear one, because if they don't put it, they put leaves. Leaves are dark at night, you know. Even during the daytime, you'd probably miss a leaf, you know. Like unless you put a whole tree, and you can't put a whole tree there. You get me?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess let's hear from Mr. David Kahara shortly. But of course, James Kenyo says, all right, okay, this is Mau. At Mau, the one and only Masharia. Matatu culture is a Kenyan pride. We should embrace it and make it global and known. Nganya Hadimwisho.
Yeah, I definitely love that guy. Say hi to him. Yeah, I definitely love that guy. Because I mean, like, look at it. The other day we were seeing this young white guy who got a deal from Adidas because of making the Kenyan bracelets.
All right.
Everything we try is getting shot down, and then like white people are just taking them and capitalizing on it. Okay. I'm not saying it's bad for him to make money out of the Kenyan bracelets. He made it, you know, and he got a deal from Adidas. Kudos to him, you know. I don't feel any type of way, you know, if he can make money. Maybe someone who in Kenya couldn't get that deal. He got it, you know, and it's good for him, you know. Business doesn't have limitations. He can come in Kenya and do business as much as he wants, you know, as long as he follows the right regulations, you know. And the same way that everybody who's like trying to shoot out the Matatu culture, you know, should think about the good side of it, you know.
And when we're talking about the good side of Matatu culture, I'll come to it shortly. But Controller WB is a Subaru boy, and he's saying, Moha, the magic hands. You know, this is the kind of things that Kenyans say. I think my Subaru needs a graffiti too. All right, interesting.
Yeah,
so how do people who want to do graffitis get to reach you anyway?
Follow Moha Graphics on Instagram. I normally check all the messages and make sure everybody is replied to and everything. So, and also I remind him of pending jobs, pending clients, pending replies and stuff like that. Okay. Just follow him on Instagram. Very active on Facebook. Shoot him a message. There's a number of there's his number on Instagram, so you can even go on Instagram, follow, and then call.
All right. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. And of course, Joyce Kimari here is saying one thing about the Matatu industry, especially the Nganyas, and today we're very specific about the Nganyas and the pimping and all the vibe that comes with it. She says they really are not disciplined. All right, and I want to hear your perspective on that. They don't even wait for someone to get off completely before they scream twende. So many incidents are caused. And of course, she's adding, just talk about the discipline first. Because that has been, unfortunately, that is what we know as, that is Joyce. That is what we know as Matatu culture. Rude touts, you know, that kind of energy.
I'm sorry, Joyce. You've had to experience that in Anganya, and I'm really sorry. I cannot be able to do much, but I can apologize on behalf of the Matatu culture. And I would say maybe like when you're getting off, just tell the tout like, I am a lady and please let me get off completely so that you can like, you know, go, you know, because some of them are just young guys who are excited about life, you know. They would listen to you, you know, just be able to air your opinion like, I want you to completely stop so that, because I cannot do it like a guy who would just jump off and go, you know, I'm a lady, treat me like a lady, you know, things like those, because I get it, you know, I get her concern and I'm really sorry about it.
All right. And the guys, you know, we had a gender conversation yesterday. And the way you say the guy should just be able to jump up and move, I know they'll be like, woof, woof, dude, no, we need those, you know, matatus to stop. We need them to use the bus stops. You know, I don't know what you have to say, but our matauts, what I want to watch, Makonda, do you know the routes? Do you know some routes, some particular matatus you want to big up this morning? Because I don't know. I remember the Necessary Noise song, which was also really part of the culture.
Yeah, I mean, like, big up matatu za Ronga, matatu za Kasa, matatu za Buru. Kwanza big up matatu za Buru sana. Watu wangu wa Pangani mliniangusha. Back in the day we used to have Supremacy Sounds. Oh yeah? Yeah, we had the twin Supremacy Sounds zilikuwa zinadundisha wase Pango, but siku hizi Pangani matatu ni kawaida, hata tumenyamazia hiyo story. So
kuliendaje?
Hata sijui. Pangani we had very sick matatus, lakini siku hizi tuko na matatu zingine zimechoka, but tunasema big up hata hivyo, bora watu wafike home fiti. And yeah, maze.
All right. And of course, you're seeing the smile in his face. This is how a lot of young people feel when they big up their matatus. One, Vicky is watching. Vicky does amazing graphics as well at Look Up TV, and he was very excited when he heard that you guys are coming through. And I'm seeing here, you know, talking about discipline, of course, Jace Kimari is saying, Anki, we don't have graffiti on our matatus in South Africa. In fact, we don't have nganyas at all. We have normal matatus, who with no conductors. Okay, we collect money from the back seat, pass it over to the next till it reaches the person in the front seat who counts and gives it to the driver. We call our matatus taxis. Interesting. They come to complete stop when one has to alight. It's madness in Kenya where you see a granny being pushed to a matatu. And we had that video. Did you watch it? It's been trending on Atmospheres, and they have said this is the crime that the authorities are not looking at. Even when we talk of young people and their adrenaline.
Yeah, I mean, like, even for young people, it's crazy, but, you know, I wouldn't, like, really say it's a good thing, you know, so it's a bad thing, and as much as I can't do much about it, you know, I would just, like, if I was able to meet whoever's doing it in a bad way, I would just be like, yo, think about life, think about whoever's alighting the matatu, think about tomorrow. You know, because many of them live for today.
Yes.
You know, and they don't really like be conscious of this is an elderly person alighting, this is a young kijana, this is a young beautiful woman. You know, they just treat them the same. You know, because maybe they're like just really so much into it. You know, so I would just like to like tell all the young touts and stuff.
Yes,
yeah, vijana wa buru, vijana wa oyole, vijana wa namba nane, please be conscious about watu wenye wako kwa mat. Please consider hawa jamaa wanaweza kuwa mtu mzee haezi ruka bana, kama kijana kunaweza kuwa na kijana wa Kilimani ajui kuruka. Unaona, unamweka kama kijana wa Pango ama kijana wa Isili, huyu anaweza ruka. Kilimani cheza na rada.
What you guys, he is literally speaking their language. Cheza na rada, lakini bro, msewa Islando baka kuchitua kama yayo. Wase Islando sasa mwaze kutextin. Hii amekuja na ubaya. Now I'm seeing one of them saying, James Kinyo is saying, Matzakasa ni Z.
Matzakasa ni kali, I would say. And many of these nganyas, what people don't also realize is that zina promote wasanii sana.
Okay.
You know, wasanii have not talked about it, but hizi ngoma zao zinakuwa promoted kwa nganya. Jumsia akisikia ngoma kwa nganya, baadaye anaenda YouTube, anapiga subscribe, anasikiza, unaona. Hizo zimehelp. Angalia mat za Buruve zinacheza wase wa Buru, kina Brooklyn Boys. Angalia mat za Kasa zinacheza wase. Ukienda namba 8 hakuna mat itakosa kucheza Okto. Jua nani ndio Don.
Alright, wase, sijui nichukue break na hiyo sheng. Lakini sitachukua break. I want you guys to see Moha in action, and those are just a few short clips. Let me know really what you think of those graffitis, and keep talking to us, of course, on social media. I love the sentiments. Mr. Urotet kidogo menyamaza hapo, yeah. Kumendaje unaenda na rada. Just watch Moha in action. I think 1 or 2 videos or 3. I love how it happens. I love, you know, the art that comes in and how it actually, you know, beautifully comes into play. Let me know your perceptions and your comments. We are on Facebook, Look Up TV. But for now, a short breather as we watch Moha in action. We're still having Leshan on set. I think that's some really good work. I think the art looks beautiful, and I think that was subtle. You know, I think the ones we have seen Moha do in action, and of course, remember we have promised that Moha, you should come here in person because Kenyans want to actually hear you out. 24 years in the industry and still working with the ban after the ban, and not in one article have I seen Moha hit back at at the government, at the regulations. And of course Leshan saying we agree with regulations put in place, remove the horns, loud music played, this is how much you play in town, this is how much you play with your kind of age group, this time of the hour, in the morning, in the evening. And I want to now hear from you because we want to wrap up. We've heard the history, we've heard about the ban, and now there are rules and regulations. Which are these rules and regulations you guys abide with right now as you still pimp vehicles? Because he still does pimp vehicles.
Yeah, some of the regulations is we don't put, how should I say this, aggressive or art that is provocative.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't put provocative art on Matatus. As much as the client wants to put it, we try and advise them and strongly insist that we don't put provocative art on it. And while we're doing the sound, we just tell them like you need to abide by a particular law. You need to consider the fact that your music should not be extremely loud. It should be within the stipulated standards, and the pipes should be within the stipulated. There should be a dB killer and stuff like that. That's what we call it. And it shouldn't be completely loud. So we try as much as possible to just say that, okay, this is what you want, but this is what is within the constitution and the regulations, and we try and insist on it. So for someone to understand that as much as you want to be popping, you can be popping in a particular way.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's so good. It's actually very encouraging to hear that, because you have the power to actually sensitize these people and they come on board. Yeah. I have been in Matatus where I feel my heart is jumping out. I don't know if you've experienced the same thing, like, and you're like, can we have this regulated? We have children in these Matatus, born children, just a month old, 6 months old, and I think that those are passengers that are very vulnerable. So when it comes to music, again, elderly people, and I like that. But also when you say provocative, at the end of the day, you maybe want to clarify that the intention behind graffiti is not to distract you to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, because road safety is very important. But you mentioned something. Of course, do one of these Matatus written, now write Arrive Alive on all of them. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, so maybe you want to make that clear, the intention of the graffiti as we had started. Yeah, I mean, like, definitely, for the Arrive Alive, you just put a small sticker and, it won't hurt the graffiti. We always like to, the same way we look for a spot to put Moha graphics on the Matatus, we look for a spot to put Arrive Alive, because that's the whole point. As much as we do the graffiti, there's always a spot or two. You can put Arrive Alive on the side, on the rear. But have a message to it. Yeah. And when we're talking about the messages, let's take a look at a few, pictures of the messages we see on, lorries, and what this effect, because we've talked about do not be enraged on the road. Danger has anger in it. And what I read in front, because someone says gonga ukitaka, it's written right in front of you, and they're driving recklessly. What are they, what kind of emotion are they instilling? That could be a question, because you're talking about the writings. What does the writing on your car do to the person behind you? And this is just to the drivers today in Matatus. Unaniona. So we want to hear from you, but let's just have that on the screen, a few of them. It could be funny, but at the end of the day, you've talked about perceptions. And are you provoking the person in the Matatu? That makes the passengers, grill you out, or the Matatu. And we want to have some harmony for, at the end of the day. So I don't know if they're already on your screen. Randomly, just real quickly, so we can share this with the viewers and Matatus. Please have them on the screen. And of course, remember, we're talking about the Matatu culture. mtu anaandika kama una haraka shuka ukimbie, kama hujanunua hapa usikulie hapa. You know, it's just what the effect of the writings that are on your cars, you're ping them, actually you know, evoke in people. The next one, please, probably let's just have them sliding through on our screen. We lala utakula unachokiota, you know, and and sometimes it's pretty much interesting, and it's written in Swahili. Keep distance. That's good. That's good on a trailer, on a track. But this is not pimped per se, but the writing has spoken.
Yeah.
And that's what I think people feel, you know, if hard work pays some, you know, show me a rich donkey. What we're talking about is that writings could also have an effect on who's behind you, who's overtaking you. And like you said, it gives somebody something to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, yeah, the same thing that lorries, these trailers are emulating with the writings. Some of them emulate the good things.
Okay.
It's the same way how cars with graffiti, some of them are good.
All right,
some of them are with bad drivers, bad touts, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same way. But if you see the trailers are writings. The trailers, all of them look the same.
Yeah.
But behind them, some of them are written good things, some of them are written bad things. So that's the perception that I want everybody to look at it, to look at graffiti from. Okay. That some graffiti done cars are good. They have good drivers, they have good touts, and we should give kudos to them, you know. And some of them have bad drivers, unfortunately, you know. We're willing to like tell them to like change and be considerate of their passengers, you know. And you know, change is inevitable, and everybody is subject to change. Either way, experience will either push you to change or just thought. You know, so you need to give people room to be able to change, you know. Give
them room. And as we're speaking, you just don't do graffiti. You also have an academy?
Yeah, we have an academy where young people come and who want to learn graffiti, who want to learn body work, who want to learn basically anything done in the garage, you know. So mostly graffiti for now, you know. So if you have a passion in drawing and stuff like that, you come do a few months, 4 or 5 months, because it's something very practical. We don't teach you verbally or writing notes or stuff like that, you know. That's something you take a pen, you draw. You know, because that's something, if you know how to draw, the better. If you don't, we teach you from scratch, you know, because this is an acquired skill. For some people, it's a talent, born in it, like more graphics. He doesn't even look at things. He draws from the mind, you know. So for him, it's like energy, you know. And now there are people who have to look at something, but they do it exceptionally well, you know.
Absolutely. So they should come to the academy where you just do not, and that's where we're talking about. We want to create employment, we want to feel good commuting, but we also want to make sure that we are safe.
Yes.
Right there. And of course, as we're closing, James Kinyo is saying, why are we associating the art with the reckless driving? Like you said, it's unfortunate. So let's go back again to who's the driver, who's the tout, not which is the graffiti, because you've said so far you've stopped the provocative, you know, graffiti. And of course, he's saying the likes of Kinamoha have nothing to do with the way the matatus are operated. That is up to the individual drivers and should be addressed to the SACCOs, not the body shops. Thank you very much for making that clear. And of course, very good work. Give us some Arrive Alive graffiti.
We got you. We got you.
So of course, I want to end the segment. And you know, the fact that you came in your gears, your helmet, that shows that he's also very keen on the roads. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to appreciate you, Leshan.
Thank you so much.
You did a great job, and we wish we can have more discussions on Matatu culture, because wait, this is the only country in Africa. The only city in Africa with you know, the Nganyas. There are 3.
The biggest city in Africa which does Nganyas. Which has a culture that people can actually resonate with, you know. And we draw African prints. This is like the Wakanda of Matatu.
Okay, I didn't see that coming.
That's our vibranium.
Oh, is it? Okay. And Kenyans have loved you. Thank you very much. But of course, we had a lot of contradicting, you know, reactions to it.
And we accept it. We really like love to hear people's opinions, you know. people like Joyce who've had bad experiences.
Kahara.
Yeah, Kahara. We are sorry, you know, and we are looking forward to making it a better environment for you in the near future, you know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so please stop hanging on the matatus. We get the feeling is inside, please, not outside. Yeah, say, Konda, naona, very soon you'll be on set. Mimi na nyinyi. Until you stop hanging and screaming at passengers to alight as you're moving. That is a conversation for another day. But for now, please arrive alive. And remember, to the legendary Moha Graphics, respect. We'll be right back with a big conversation, of course, shortly, and I hope you'll enjoy it. It's a repeat rather of what you guys asked for. And then don't forget the culture umbrella as well. That was the Arrive Alive. How do they go to? Still, I can change?
Yeah. Kuna Mbwegze, shout out to Mbogi Genje.